Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the ordinary meeting of Council, Tuesday the 22nd of July 2025, to be held here at our beautiful Pemberton Sports Club, commencing at 5:30. Kaya, Nala Karak Nunga Kan Karak Ninja Puja. We acknowledge the Noongar people as the traditional custodians of the land in which we meet. Item 2 is announcements by the President. I'd like to thank you all for coming. We value our out-of-town relationships when we come down and do our official ordinary council meetings, when we come to out-of-town meetings, and we thank you all for coming. I'd just like to acknowledge the importance of our volunteers within our communities, and the very special place that they hold within our communities. I think we all have a common goal in that we just want the best for the communities in which we live, and our volunteers are such a vital part of the communities in which we live. Special mention to the Pemberton Youth Cadets. That is such a fantastic program that's run down here, and they do an incredible job. And hopefully it will breed some future volunteers that will go on to do amazing things within our town. Attendance, apologies, we have nil. Approved leave of absence. We have an approved leave of absence for Councillor Paul Omade for this meeting. Declarations of interest.
Thank you, Madam President. I've received 2 declarations. One is an impartiality interest from Councillor Darren. It relates to agenda item 9.12.2, which has to do with waste disposal options at Windy Harbour. Councillor Darren is a joint leaseholder of a unit or of a lease at Windy Harbour. So as an impartiality interest, she can still partake in the meeting. It's just, I suppose, an accountability disclosure. Slightly differently, we have a declaration of a proximity interest from the Shire President in relation to agenda item 9.12.1, which has to do with the proposed closure of Kimber Road. And the Shire President is an adjacent landholder. So for that agenda item, when we get to it, the Deputy Shire President will need to come to the top chair and coordinate proceedings for that agenda item.
Lovely, thank you. Public question time. Okay, 5.1, response to public questions taken on notice. There are nil. 5.2 is public question time. So this is the only time that anyone has the opportunity to address council. You're given 3 minutes. I have a bell that will indicate 1 minute to go. We would ask that your name and address be stated. That will form our minutes. You can ask questions of anything of council. It doesn't need to be something that's on the agenda. So are there any questions?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Come to the little lectern, thank you.
Okay.
And I think, are we on, or do you need to press the... Yep.
Okay, Enrico Piazza from 100 Brockman Street. Now, I often walk my dogs to the pool and back through the forest, and with this spa, we need to have some firm, written, signed, non-negotiable boundaries with the spa owner for things that it cannot do, with consequences against him if he breaks them. Well, one of the first ones, he cannot stop anyone going into the pool area, including people with dogs. If he goes against this, he can pack up his spa and go. Second, he cannot film with security cameras people in the pool area, especially children or people using the outside shower. Note that the spa will most probably be sold to other people in the future. So whoever's got the most money. So we need to have zero trust in who's going to use the security camera film. And security cameras also spoil the ambience and tranquility of the place. And third, no 99-year-long contract. And the ownership of the land and water does not transfer to the spa owner. and no compensation to the spa owner if he or the new buyers is told to get out for whatever reason the pool committee or the council decides. And also no threats, coercion or bribes by the pool owner towards the community, the pool community or council. If he does that, he's out. And that's it.
Thank you for listening to the statements. So these are questions, just as a read. You go.
You sure?
You go.
All right, appreciate it.
We've got plenty of time.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Shire President and Chief Executive Mr Rose, councillors and Shire officers. My name's Andrew Dalton and I'm the resident of Dean Mill and owner of Dalton's Paddock at 43 Hind Road. Firstly, just thanks for the opportunity to address you all. It's regarding item 9.5.4, the retrospective application for 2 cabins for unhosted short-term accommodation at my property at 43 Hind Road. First and foremost, quite sincerely, just want to thank everyone to date because I had a bit of a dream to bring this thing to life, and the Shire has been very supportive of getting me to this point as well. I'd just like to make, a statement and a question today in relation to the council recommendation to commence legal proceedings in respect to the noted breach against the provisions of the local planning scheme number 4. Before I attempt to explain how I found myself in this position, just like to make it clear that I'm not here to sort of avoid any responsibility for the actions, but just rather demonstrate my intent that I wasn't here to deceive or mislead the council. To the contrary, actually. And I'm hoping we can settle this matter without the need for legal proceedings, which will be concluded with a question at the end of this sort of written statement. So with that in mind, I'd just like council to note that although I clearly got things wrong in the end, I did make a genuine effort to be transparent with the Shire. It includes sort of making upon advice, making an application for a nature park approval, and that was back in March of 2024. And after making that application that same month, I was later informed that it was no longer a requirement. I also submitted a detailed business plan, which included the 2 cabins back in, I think, around June 2024, and also presented the same business plan to the department heads of the Shire sort of soon after that. That was sort of consequently leading me to submit a number of applications, rightfully so, the DA for a holiday accommodation for the main homestead, the emergency plan, a management plan, a bushfire management plan, and an emergency evacuation plan. And that's where things sort of went all got confusing for me at that point. I went on to make a few misinformed decisions, largely led by, I guess, misinterpreting stories in the media in relation to the regulatory requirements of tiny homes, and also listening to tiny home builders to the same effect. And I also made a sort of decision to change the position of the homes to work in the green zone with the bushfire. Thank you, Shire President. So my question would be if it would be great to work amicably with the Shire and accepting my responsibility with an infringement penalty of some sort as opposed to go down legal formal proceedings.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you for the presentation and the question. So, recommendation 2 on the agenda item authorises the CEO to initiate legal action, but doesn't obligate the CEO in that course of action. So, I'd be very happy to meet and understand the situation in more detail before taking further advice from staff and as to whether any legal action would be required. So, very happy to meet and discuss it in more detail.
Sounds good, Mr Rose. I appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. It's going to be a race to the front.
Hello, my name's Pauline Hewitt. I'm from Shire Road at Northcliffe. I just sounds better than Datchet Ratchet. I just want to say I've been around Pemberton for a very, very long time, and my child was born at the Pemberton Hospital that doesn't exist anymore. And if you ask me what was the most iconic place in Pemberton, I would tell you straight up it's the Pemberton swimming pool. It was there from before I was... And also I'm a wildlife rehabilitator, and also I'm a disability support worker. So I have a few concerns about the pool. Now the first concern is about the quokka. Now the quokka's seen in town quite a lot, especially down near the caravan park, and it's a really rare animal, and there's opportunity for the quokka to bring more tourism to our area. I really am concerned about the fact that if we have this pool thing go ahead, there's going to be something happening there all the time, all through the year. Whereas I know that what happens now is a lot of the time the pool is very quiet and the quokkas are allowed to live in that area. Now there's a whole lot of other things that are going to go on in the bottom of town, including possibly the expansion of the caravan park and all of that. So it really concerns me, and I want to know, does the council have any plan for seeing what is there and making sure what is there is not impacted in a negative way? Because the quokka could be much, much more impactful for tourism in the future than, I would say, a heated swimming pool or a spa. Then the next thing that I wanted to talk about was, as a disability support worker, I've come to, and I could be wrong, I've come to think that this proposal would not include access for people with disabilities with access issues. Now, I really, really can't understand why a shire that has all the facilities that we have here for aged and disability care would allow that to occur. So my question there is, can the shire please look at, if they intend to go ahead with, which I'm begging you, please, please, please don't. If you need to go ahead with that, can you please look at access for disability people? And the last thing, well, pursuant to that is, why were no conditional clause into the draft approval requiring the facility to comply with access standards under the Disability Discrimination Act? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Ms Hewitt of Dash-A Road. So yeah, there was three questions there. The first one, as I've interpreted it, is does the Shire have plans for the pool and surrounds in terms of future tourism?
No, and I'm saying in terms of endangered species, which we have here.
Oh, okay. Thank you for correcting. So the pool and surrounds is not owned or managed by the Shire. It's actually owned and managed under a management order to the Pemberton Visitor Centre. So in terms of obligations for the Shire on that site, we don't have any. We do have, presently, we have a Sustainability Advisory Committee, we've got a Sustainability Officer, and we work across 4 or 5 other local governments looking at sustainability initiatives. So broadly, yes. Specifically for that site, no, we don't. The second question, I understand...
But that wouldn't come into your decision making, though. Like,
Madam President, are you happy for me to? Yeah.
Okay.
So, decision making in relation to the development application?
Yes,
or,
whether you're going to approve it or not.
Unfortunately, no, it doesn't. The second question, I understand, had to do with disability access at the site. So at the moment, the agenda item for council is dealing with the land use planning consideration, and the accessibility elements will come in under the next stage, which will be the building permit stage. So yes, there are very clear provisions written into building codes and other things, so that will be taken into consideration very seriously. And your third question, which was, I think you said pursuant to the second question, had to do with why there are no conditions on the recommended approval, and that's because it will be dealt with under the next stage, which is the building permissions, not the planning. It's not planning permissions, Right. Sounds a little bit technical, but yes, it will be considered. It's just the next step.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Maybe we should have handed out numbers. I couldn't have numbers on the
Right. President, CEO and councillors, I'm Dean French from Old Vass Road, here to represent the Manjimup Rifle Club. My question is, can you, as councillors, please cast your mind back to 1 month ago when I addressed you about the benefits and opportunities that the Manjimup Rifle Club presents our district and people from other districts, as the state government has seen fit to make it very difficult for people to own and enjoy their firearms. So when it comes to item number 9.12.1, please vote with the officer's recommendation of initiating the closure of the unimproved Kimber Road. So if you could continue with that, that'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, please note I'm here on behalf of Mo. All right, so the question today is, would you be interested in the volunteer backpacker proposal that is now being handed out to you? So I'm here to propose a practical and impactful idea that could help and address two critical issues while facing here in Manjimup: the severe shortage of volunteers in our local community and support services, and the increasing strain on these services to our ongoing housing and cost of living crisis. Right now, working holiday visa holders are required to complete an 88 days of paid regional work, typically on farms or in tourism, to extend their visas. But what if we could let those 88 days include time spent volunteering with registered local charities in regional towns like ours? Charities like Warren Blackwood Emergency Accommodation Centre, Manjimup Pantry, Manjimup Co-op. The shops are overwhelmed. They provide housing assistance, food relief and domestic violence support. And they are doing it with too fewer hands. Meanwhile, backpackers in our area are often looking for flexible, meaningful ways to meet visa requirements. This proposal would help local services meet growing demand, offer meaningful work opportunities to visa holders, and keep backpackers in our region spending money locally while contributing to community well-being. I have just lost my spams. I'm not suggesting a complete replacement of farm work. This would be a controlled, registered option with clear eligibility, sign-offs, rules to maintain compliance and avoid abuse. Manjimup could lead the way on this by advocating for a pilot program in partnership with our state and federal governments. We already have the need. We already have the framework. We just need the Shire's support to start this conversation. Let's trial a model that works for towns like ours. Let's put people where they are needed most. Thank you. Oh, my apologies. Hi, my name is Lani Tiwell-Jones, and I am here on behalf of Moata of Brocktonshire. Thank you.
Good evening all, my name is Dinika Keeble and I reside on South West Highway, Quinnanup. I've got 3 questions in relation to agenda item 9.5.3, the floating sauna. It relates to governance and procedural integrity. My first question is relates to the use of not-for-profit status. Is the Shire satisfied that the development application submitted under the PVC's not-for-profit status accurately represents the nature and beneficiary of the project, given the profit-driven business model proposed? Number 2 relates to the fee waiver justification. On what legal basis was the development application fee waived, and was that decision independently reviewed in light of the for-profit beneficiary? And number 3, disclosure of beneficial interest. Has the actual commercial operator of the proposed sauna facility formally disclosed their interest in the application process, and has this disclosure been minuted or documented?
Mr. CEO,
thank you. Sorry, Ms. Keeble, if you wouldn't mind repeating question number 1. I was trying to take notes, but my hand's not that quick, sorry.
Number 1 related to the use of not-for-profit status. Is the Shire satisfied that the development application submitted under the PVC's not-for-profit status accurately represents the nature and beneficiary of the project, given that it's a profit-driven business model that's proposed?
Oh, okay.
Because that's where that came in at, it looked like on the agenda. Number 2 related to the fee waiver.
Why don't you just deal with each question in turn?
Sure.
Thank you. So in relation to the status... Apologies. Sorry. As to the status of the applicant, that's, I suppose, mostly irrelevant in terms of the planning assessment process. So the second question is probably more relevant with regards to the status of waiver of fees. But the Shire's processes for assessing development applications are the same, regardless of whether it's a not-for-profit group, as in the Pemberton Visitor Centre, or a commercial applicant, or a church, or any other entity. So I suppose it's not really for us to be satisfied with regards to any element there.
Other than perhaps question number 2, the fee waiver justification?
Correct. I might ask the Director of Development Services to answer that question.
Yeah, sure. Look, we reviewed that today. We determined that the not-for-profit status in this particular circumstance doesn't apply. So then we contacted the applicant, and they have since paid a $960 fee for the application.
Yep.
Thank you. And the third question, I think, had to do with disclosure of the beneficiary, but maybe if you could just reconfirm the question for me, please.
Well, the question has in part been answered, and the question was, has the actual commercial operator of the proposed sauna facility formally disclosed their interest in the application process, and has this disclosure been minuted or documented? And it would seem I have an answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got a question as well as a deposition. Okay, so my question is, how can Madam... Oh, sorry, Tracy Lee, 12 Wellburn Place, Pemberton. Is this on? Yeah, okay. My question is, how can the Shire President make an impartial decision on the Pemberton swimming pool development application when she has been quoted in the media quite some time ago as saying that the proposal is fantastic and could add to the wellness experiences already existing in town? You'll be able to do your ice bath dip into the Pemby pool and then jump into the hot sauna. It's located very close to the mountain bike tracks, so you'll be able to fly down the mountain on your mountain bike track and then do some recovery in the hot sauna and cold water therapy. This sounds like a predetermined decision by Madam President, and I would like to know how she is going to make an impartial decision this evening.
No worries, I can answer that. So when the proposal was first put to us, that question was put to me, and that is based on, it does sound like a fantastic proposal. The recommendation has then come to us with all the information, which has come from multiple departments. We then take in the submissions from the public as well. So I am one of, well, 8 tonight, but normally 9. I'm not the only one that makes a decision. And I have met with both the proponents and the opponents. I've also met with people from town, people from the visitors centre. All of the conversations that I've had since that interview, I will take into account when I make my decision.
It sounds like you've already made your decision, Madam President.
But I'm only one of 8 that will make that tonight.
But a leader.
Thank you. Any other questions? Excellent. Alrighty. Public question time. Presentation 6.1 petitions, we have nil. 6.2 presentations, we have nil. 6.3 deputations, we have 3. So in order that the deputations came to me, we will have first Graham Dell from the Pemberton Visitor Centre, if you'd like to do your presentation, your deputation first. Thank you. So you get 10 minutes. Same thing, you'll get the buzzer, the little bell at 1 minute to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Graham Durl, President of the Pemberton Visitor Centre and a long-term resident of Pemberton. Lawson Road Call Cup, or Cal Cup. Madam President, Shire councillors, CEO and Manjimup Shire team and the Pemberton community. Thank you for the opportunity to present our position on the floating sauna proposal on behalf of my team of the Pemberton Visitor Centre. I would like to address directly what this proposal is not and what it is. This is not about privatisation. It is not an exclusive agreement to close our community for free entry to the precinct, nor is it an attempt to blindside the community to push through a special deal. It is a proposal that was presented to the board of the PVC for consideration. It is an opportunity to generate a modest income to assist with the upkeep of the precinct, and it will be an additional attraction to our town and the region if approvals are granted. The swimming pool precinct is maintained and run predominantly by volunteers and coordinated by a not-for-profit, the Pemberton Visitor Centre, in which this site is vested with. The floating sauna proposal was not something we sought out. It was presented to the board for consideration, and we were very grateful for the opportunity to be involved. We acknowledged from the outset that the site's sensitivities, its heritage and public importance would need to be central to any discussion. That message was clearly conveyed to the proponent in our first meeting on site, and the board agreed to allow the idea to proceed to the next stage so that it could be assessed properly through the formal planning process, including full community consultation. This is a floating removable sauna designed specifically to minimise impact on the site and will sit away from the main pool area so it will not alter the existing heritage structure of the pool. Public access to the pool remains free and unchanged. The pool will continue to be drained, cleaned and maintained annually as it always has. There is no intention to exclude anyone. Rather, the aim is to activate a quiet corner of the site in a way that is respectful and sustainable. This is a low-impact proposal intended to complement existing offerings, including the $8 million mountain bike trails project connecting the Gloucester Tree to the pool. It supports key planning objectives around recreation, wellbeing, tourism and place activation. We understand this proposal has sparked strong reactions. The pool is a place of shared history and deep connection, and we respect that. At the same time, we hear from a growing number of people who want to see this precinct looked after year-round, not just in summer, who want the space to feel safe, clean and cared for, who want the buildings upgraded and the story of the pool celebrated. This proposal is not a replacement for community use. It's a modest opportunity to help fund the maintenance of this asset while enhancing the experience for visitors in a way that respects the location. There is no hidden agenda here. The Visitor Centre has acted with transparency, caution and in good faith. We did not seek this project, but we also did not shut the door on it simply because it was new. Supporting this proposal gives our community a chance to keep this heritage listed site safe and maintained, welcome visitors in a respectful, structured way, build a small but reliable income stream to reduce reliance on inconsistent grant funding and volunteer hours. Community consultation began early in 2025 and generated widespread interest from all sides. It is clear this issue matters deeply. However, while we welcome passionate debate, the personal nature of some opposition targeted messaging and intimidating emails has taken its toll, and I wanted to make it clear the volunteers involved in this project are members of this community. We live here, we care deeply about our town and its assets. We thank the Council for considering the application and ask that your support for the proposal, so we can all move forward together respectfully with shared purpose. Thank you.
Excellent. So the second deputation that came in was Newley. Thank you.
I need to sit. Thank you. Thanks very much.
That's all right. Is that enough room?
I hope so. Thank you. All right. So, Kaya, Madam President, councillors, thank you for the opportunity. I've bought a prop. I have put that into my proposal. This is a picture I took of the Pemberton pool in around 2014. This is an image that we will never see again if this sauna proposal goes ahead. And I'll show it back to the gallery. It's a widely renowned photograph. I've sold copies of it. And I think it represents the majesty of our Pemberton pool and how it should stay. So I'm going to address the... let's see if I can get this a bit closer. I think that's a bit better. I'm going to address the advice to council, I think in the order that it's basically put through, so that we have a logical way of dealing with this. And I'm in opposition, quite clearly, to this proposal. I've been a Pemberton resident for 22 years. I've been a tourism operator. I've run a B&B between 2007 and 2014 inclusive for 8 years. I understand tourism, I understand development, I understand progress, and I understand the need for these things in communities such as ours. However, what I don't agree with is the floating sauna, which is, yes, a wonderful idea, but not at the Pemberton swimming pool. It's an inappropriate site for this development. And there are a number of reasons. So you probably can't see this very much, but I can pass it around. This is a picture of the floating sauna at Lake Derby in Tasmania. So you probably can't see it, but you can get it online. Note the very small floating sauna and the extremely large body of water. That is an appropriate site for a floating sauna, not the Pemberton swimming pool, which at the site of the floating sauna is about 25 metres wide by no more than about 1 metre deep. So I'm going to address the heritage considerations first. So as part of the development application, the proponent put in the register entry of the Statement of Significance. And I'm going to read it because the Statement of Significance is truncated in the agenda. And I'm going to read some of it. The place is an exceptionally picturesque element in the forests of the southwest. The naturalistic appearance of the large pool, together with the sloping lawn, provides a simple setting and a dramatic black backdrop to the nearby Karri Forest. The generally calm, flat surface of the water reflects the forest surrounds with unusual clarity. The place demonstrates innovation, determination, and ability of an isolated regional forestry community to work together despite limited financial resources to provide and construct its own infrastructure, to provide facilities for the benefit of the community, and the place is highly valued for aesthetic and social reasons by the wider community, including tourists to the southwest, and continues to be a much appreciated and admired attraction. That's all going to change if we have a floating sauna on that pool. It will never have the reflections that we have now again while that sauna is there. for two reasons. First of all, we are going to have mobs of people jumping off platforms and moving that platform and moving that water. The second thing is it's a floating 2.5 tonne, 73 square metre structure. It will bob, it will disturb the water, and it will cause those reflections to not be there anymore. And that is an absolute tragedy. There are people around the world who put that pool on Instagram. People get married there because of the reflections. It's an absolute travesty that this proposal could even be considered when the heritage value of the pool and the tourism value of the pool is so high as it is in its natural state. So the State Heritage Office advised, and this is page 48 of item number 9.5.3 in the agenda. The State Heritage Office advised that it is in support of the proposal on the basis that the proposal will touch the site lightly and will be easily reversible. It is not going to touch that site lightly in any regard. It is not going to be easily reversible because, as I demonstrated today to the councillors that thankfully met me, and I do thank you with great appreciation for meeting me at the pool, there is going to need to be substantial site works, which has not been disclosed in the development application. That pool is about 30 centimetres deep at the shoreline, and it is not deep enough to be bombing and diving into the pool. Now, it's probably, I think it's a fantasy to suggest that the demographic of mountain bikers are going to slip quietly and peacefully into the water. Given that the demographic, and I looked this up today, is 80% 25 to 50-year-old white, able-bodied, male, affluent people. And that is the current demographics of the mountain bikers. So this is exclusionary. It's exclusionary for a number of reasons. It's exclusionary for that we are catering to a very, very small demographic. It's exclusionary from accessibility points of view. And that, for me, has to be a no-brainer that this council should not vote for this proposal. The proponent has blatantly said it will not be accessible. Now, I'm a person with disability. I'm an NDIS participant. I wear this because I have invisible disabilities, and it's the international symbol, the sunflower, of people with invisible disabilities. You can't see my mobility issues. I'm sitting because of them. But I personally would not be able to access that sauna. And wouldn't it be lovely for people with disabilities who need that beautiful warmth and that dipping pool and whatever to have access? Yet at that site, that is not going to happen. And this is not just aspirational. This is legal. You cannot discriminate against people with disability. Can you imagine if the proponent had said, we're not going to allow women to access this sauna? Or if he had said, we are not going to allow First Nations people to access this sauna? There would be absolute outrage. So why isn't there outrage that the proponent states, and it's a one-liner in the agenda item, yes, further inquiries were made and it won't be accessible. Now, the council has said, I think Mr Rose said, that that's not a consideration for the development application. It certainly is, and it is under your accessibility plan. Development applications must meet accessibility standards, and it's in your inclusion plan, and if you would like a copy of it, I have it right here. So, your access and inclusion plan. Promoting physical accessibility. This includes improving the built environment, installing ramps, etc., etc. Okay, I might need a little bit more than 10 minutes. I have been told I can ask for a little bit extra time. So accessibility is a real issue with this. Safety, and I'll be brief on safety because I've really covered the major problems with this proposal, but safety is a critical consideration. Spark arresters do not arrest all sparks. The fire pit is going to be open. Is it going to be tended all day by staff? Is it going to be extinguished between each and every appointment? What is going to happen if there is a bushfire that is caused from this? First, obviously, it'll burn the sauna down, and that would be thankful. But we had a fire in Pemberton just this season that spread up towards Pump Hill Farm. This is critical. It is critical. And also,
Ms. Lee, that's 10 minutes. Councillors, it needs to go to a vote for an extension. So can we put it to the vote? Do we need a time? So
3 minutes.
3 minutes, an extension of 3 minutes. Councillors, can all those in favour of a 3-minute extension?
3, 4, 5, 6.
And against?
6-2.
Thank you. 6-2, carried 6-2. So you have 3 more minutes. Thank you, Ms. Lee.
thank you, councillors. So in terms of safety, there are 2 issues. There is the bushfire mitigation risk, which has been very carefully explained in the agenda item. There is also safety to the children. Now, children are curious, and there's going to be a floating platform right next to the little beach. What is going to happen if a child gets trapped underneath that platform? It's murky. They might not know what's happening. The kids go down there after school without parental supervision. There are serious issues with respect to the location of that platform in terms of safety. I think, so the only other thing I would say is that on page 48 there is a list of requirements for approving a development application. I don't believe that this development application ticks the boxes of those requirements. I think it's in breach of legislation. I think it's in breach of the heritage values of the site. I think it's in breach of safety protocols. I'm not opposed to a floating sauna. I'm opposed to a floating sauna at the Pemberton swimming pool. And I thank you very much for your time and the extension of time in listening to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions, councillors? Councillor De Campo.
Ms. Lee, thank you for your presentation. Are you advocating then for the complete closure of the Pemberton pool? You've brought up a number of serious safety concerns during your presentation in relation to small children and an open water body. Are you advocating for a complete closure of the Pemberton pool?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Reeve. Thank you. Thank you. Our final deputation is Mr. Reeves.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you. It's lovely to be here. I've prepared a short address, but I think I'll probably at the end talk about a few of the concerns that are raised because they're really important to get across. And thank all the members of the community for their interest in this project. I've been excited about it. This little village is absolutely beautiful and it's a great place to visit. So thanks for the opportunity to speak tonight in support of my application to operate floating sauna at Pemberton Pool. It's wonderful to see that so many people love the pool, its heritage and its beauty. I love how it represents a place where community can meet and have fun. I'm here to help Pemberton draw more environmentally sensitive wellness experience visitors to the area who will also appreciate your beautiful village and its surroundings. I built my first floating sauna in Derby, Tasmania, not Derby, Western Australia, about 5 years ago. So far I've hosted over 200,000 people, and these are people who want to experience being closer to nature, who want to disconnect from their busy lives and who want to have a natural high. Floating sauna Lake Derby's generated a significant amount of visitor spending in the surrounding areas and helps to make the quieter winter months in Tasmania much busier and sustainable for fellow tourism business owners. Known for its mountain bike tracks, Derby's become also a wellness hub for a specific type of tourist who values nature and experiences in nature. My floating business prides itself on having a low impact on the environment. We're single-use plastic-free, carbon neutral and do not use any chemicals. My floating sauna is a curated experience. There's a person on site at all times, even in between sessions. Not only for safety, but to encourage sauna patrons to maximise the benefits of hot and cold therapy. We encourage silence in the sauna to help people enter a meditative state or quiet reflection. The sauna and cold plunge experience is designed to trigger the body to release adrenaline, endorphins and dopamine. You feel amazing afterwards and sleep like a baby. There are many documented health benefits, but I won't go into them now. Floating sauna Lake Derby benefits the town. I employ 4 staff, and it also generates work for others in the area. The hotel and Airbnb operators tell me their patrons come specifically for the sauna, staying overnight more and going to local restaurants and bars and experiencing other tourist activities. It's exciting to see my staff grow, buy new cars and houses, and work on building their own wellness businesses as well. I'm here tonight to seek permission from the council to operate my small business in Pemberton. I believe the officer recommendation before you is to approve my proposal based on an independent assessment of my project against the requirements of the planning scheme. Unfortunately, your approval tonight does not necessarily grant me the social licence to operate, and I recognise that. I am surprised that there are some people who do not want this sauna trial to go ahead. I realise I can't expect everyone to understand what I'm creating. It is hard to believe people pay me to sit in their underpants in a wooden shed with a window and jump into the water. I ask that these people who do have reservations now to come along to the trial and experience it for themselves and see what they think. It's a simple idea, but some people cry afterwards. They tell me it's the best thing they've done on their holiday. They come back and driving sometimes 8 hours on a return trip from Hobart just to have a sauna. During the consultation phase of the planning process, I became aware that the Sandy Beach area is used by many as a safe level entry access point to the water. Children and families also find this area to be nice and shady. I'm happy to move along the shoreline to ensure this area is not impacted by the pontoon. Some others raise concerns that the sauna pontoon would impact the reflections in the water, and I think Tracy mentioned this today. I've posted photographs on my sauna pontoon at Derby on the Pemberton People Facebook page group, which is burning the internet most days. It shows that the beautiful reflection of the trees at Pemberton Pool will still be visible. There is no bobbing of the sauna pontoon. It's, you can see from the photographic evidence. Finally, before I address the issue about disability access, I just want to comment about the process from here. If planning approval is granted tonight, I will continue to work with my consultants to meet the conditions of the permit, follow through with the building application as required. The MOU which I've signed with the custodians of the pool also gives me an opportunity to negotiate a lease to operate. The rental I expect to pay will be a new source of funds to ensure the pool is more easily maintained for future generations. My business philosophy centres around community, so I will be pleased to participate in other initiatives that the community comes forward with. So let's give this trial a chance to operate, see how it goes. Wouldn't it be great for Pemberton to become known for a place of healing and peace, as well as other things? In particular, a place where new ideas are actually welcomed to be tried in a community who wants to thrive in a way that does not diminish its own identity and its place in history. Thanks for your time. Just on the disability access issue, it's kind of one line in a development application is really easy to take out of context, but the point I'm making is that it is actually not possible to have a plastic, composite or metal wheelchair inside a sauna room that is 100 degrees Celsius. It's simply unsafe from a first degree burns perspective. So under Section D 3.4 exemptions under the National Construction Code, it's possible to get an exemption for wheelchair access into the sauna room, and that's what I will be seeking and I've sought and achieved on my other sauna sites. It's exemptions. The following areas are not required to be accessible. A, an area where access would be inappropriate because of the particular purpose for which the area is used, so sauna. B, an area that would pose a health or safety risk for people with a disability. So there's absolutely it's just crazy to think that I'm going around saying people with a disability can't come to my business. It's the exact opposite. My application shows a new pathway from the kiosk of the pool to the sauna site that is a 1 in 14 graded wheelchair access. So it's not to my benefit, and although if people with a disability can actually get into the sauna room without a wheelchair, they are absolutely welcome. There's absolutely no restriction, but the pathway that this project creates gives a new disability ramp to the only part of the pool which has the level entry. So I just thought that's an important point to make, and it's very difficult to sort of combat all of the keyboard warriors in your area, but I've done my best to be open and upfront. The majority of people that I've come across, though, are the most beautiful, warmly welcoming and encouraging people, and I just thank them for the support so far. And I commend the report to you and seek your support tonight. Thanks, Madam President.
Thank you. Councillors, other questions? Councillor Darren?
Yes, just a question. Yes, interesting. I have lived experience with my dad was in a wheelchair for 7 years before he passed away last year, and I did find that quite noticeable when I went there, was that there was no way we were getting him in a wheelchair anywhere on that site currently. So, but my question is that disability, it's quite often that we think of disability and we automatically go to wheelchair, but disability does include people with cognitive disabilities, audio, visual disabilities. So if we take the wheelchair aspect out of it just for a moment, people with disabilities in other ways, would they have would their sauna be accessible to them?
In terms of vision, hearing, yes, absolutely, yes.
Thank you. Any other questions, councillors? Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, 6.4 delegate reports, there are nil, and conference reports, there are nil. Thanks, Sharon. Confirmation of the previous minutes. Councillor Ivey.
I move that the minutes of the ordinary meeting of the Council held on the 24th of June 2025 be confirmed as a true and accurate record.
And a seconder? Councillor De Campo. Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Section 8, motions of which previous notice has been given. 8.1, notice of revocation notice of revocation motion, decisions made on the 7th of December 2023 and 18th of January 2024 relating to Lot 100 Etherington Road, Beadler. It still needs a voting requirement, so it still needs to be moved and seconded. Councillor Ivey, do you want to move? Or Councillor De Campo moving?
I move the motion, the officer recommendation.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Ivey. Councillor Campo, did you want to speak to the motion?
I do, and I also, in speaking to the motion, reserve the right to bring the motion back to council, given some indication that I had today, in fact, of what's going on out there. There was some legal advice that came to council that potentially made it difficult for us to seek to withdraw this motion. However, there was a path to navigate that, and we may get back to that. So I sought to withdraw this motion and encourage the applicant to put in a development application for these particular matters. As I say, though, I reserve the right to bring it back. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Ivey, did you want to speak to? Any other speakers? Fabulous. Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. Okay. Officers' reports. 9.1, Officer the CEO. So normally we would put these onto a whiteboard. If we were back in Manjimup, we would move them, some of them on block. Because we're at an out-of-town meeting, we do go through them one by one. So you'll have to bear with us for a little bit. 9.1, Officer of the CEO. 9.1.1, Review of Council Committees, Report on Consultation. Is there a mover, please, councillors?
As per officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Winfield. Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor Winfield.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to say that I was one of the people who were put in the clause of consultation on this matter. That consultation has taken place, and I see a way forward because last night I was actually at the Warren Catchment Council Community Land Care Group meeting, and I put to them that they should form their own sustainability committee. So they have accepted that advice or proposal, and that's going to go ahead as a replacement. They're going to invite the current membership of the committee to join their subcommittee. I would encourage council to actually nominate a councillor, as they do in other meetings, to attend in an ex officio capacity. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Winfield. Are there any other speakers? Councillor Mylan.
Yeah, I'd like to support this motion as well. I think the revised move towards advisory groups and particularly the town advisory groups, or district advisory groups as we're going to call them, I think will remove some of the feeling that these committees are being controlled by councillors and controlled by council staff, and I'm hoping that that they will lead to more community ownership and leadership and consultation and good outcomes for the community. So it's a good move.
Excellent, thank you. Any other speakers, councillors? Can we put that to vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0, thank you. 9.1.2, Pioneer Park land transfer to the Shire of Manjimup. Councillor Wilcox.
I'd move as per the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Ivey. Councillor Wilcox, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor Ivey. Are there any other speakers?
Yeah, I'll speak to the motion.
Councillor De Campo.
In the absence of the Walpole councillor speaking to the motion, as I thought you might passionately do, what this does is throws our support behind the Walpole community, because this park is actually a quintessential part of Walpole. And I think we certainly wouldn't have been able to travel through to Peaceful Bay if we hadn't have gone down the path of accessing a lease or a management order down the track. So congratulations to Councillor Wilcox for her advocacy in this matter over the past few months.
It might not have been a safe journey.
No.
Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. 9.1.3, Ordinary Council Meeting September 25, proposed change of date. Councillor Ivey.
I move as per the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Mylan. Councillor Ivey, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor Mylan. Are there any other speakers? Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. 9.2.1, encroachment of dam on reserve 39583, lot 772, Blackbutt Drive, Manjimup. Councillor De Campo.
Thank you. I have an alternate recommendation, Madam President. It is that Council supports the use of the portion of reserve 39583 by 1, authorising the Chief Executive Officer to grant a licence of a portion of the reserve 39583 relating to encroachment of the dam to the owner adjoining lot 3770 159 Perrott Road, Manjimup, including and subject to all actions for A, approvals from the Minister of Lands, B, change of purpose for reserve 39583 to recreation and watercourse or a similar suitable purpose, C, a Crown land subdivision to create additional lot within reserve 39583 that identifies the dam encroachment and appropriate licensed area, D, obtain the power to licence the additional lot, E, licence to be granted for the term of 10 years to align with a proposed water licence subject to appropriate conditions and annual licence fee, and F, the owner of lot 3770 being responsible for all costs incurred by the Shire of Manjimup, including but not limited to survey, legal expenses and officer time. And then point 2 is in the event that a licence is not able to be granted or is not suitable for the proponent, authorise the Chief Executive Officer to proceed with relinquishment of portion of Reserve 39583 relating to the encroachment of the dam for purchase and amalgamation by the owner of the adjoining lot 3770 159 Perrott Road, Manjimup, including and subject to all actions for A, determining the area of land for disposal, B, cancellation of a portion of public recreation reserve and associated management order changes, C, public consultation with any substantial objections being referred to Council, D, approvals from the Minister of Lands, and E, the owner of lot 3770 being responsible for any cost incurred by the Shire of Manjimup, including but not limited to advertising and officer time.
Thank you. Is there a seconder to the alternative recommendation, please? Councillor Mylan. Councillor De Campo.
Thank you, Madam President. In some ways, this is a way for Department of Water to get some water licence for somewhere else, and this encroachment has been happening for 20 plus years currently, and I'm not sure now why we couldn't, and we actually licensed this for a period of time in the early 2000s, so a licence was actually granted for this portion of the dam and in the backwater in the early 2000s. So this is just replicating what happens then. We should always encourage horticulture. We should always encourage ensuring that land around town that is close to town can continue in its horticultural exploit, and this allows that to happen, but it allows it to happen legally. The change to that Council supports the use of the portion of Reserve 39583 shows that DOW that we support this through either point A, 1 or 2. So that word support is really important, I think, to show that that's something that we do.
Thank you. Councillor Mylan? No. Are there any other speakers? No. Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. (931) Shire financial payments for May 2025. Councillor Ivey. What a surprise.
I move as per the officer's recommendation.
Seconder. Councillor Mylan. Councillor Ivey, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor Mylan, did you want to speak to the motion? Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. 932 monthly statement of financial activity for May 2025. Councillor Ivey.
I move as per the officer's recommendation.
Seconder. Councillor De Campo. Councillor Ivey, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor De Campo. Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? 8-0. Thank you. 951, retrospective application for an animal establishment, in brackets dog breeding, at lot 1, in brackets 45, Tinks Road, Quinnanup. Councillor Darren.
I move that the item be deferred to the next meeting.
Is there a seconder for deferment? Thank you. Can we put that to the vote? Oh, did you want to speak to the... yes. Do you want to speak to the deferment?
Sure. I think given the personal circumstances that were sent out to councillors with regards to this proponent, that it's only fair that we give them a month to work through their personal issues and then have this discussion again back in what are we now? July? In August. I just think it's a fair and right thing for us to do, to defer another month at the request of the proponent in this instance.
Thank you. Councillor De Campo, are there any speakers, other speakers? Can we put that to the vote, please, for deferment, please, councillors? All those in favour of deferring? And against? Carried 7-1. Thank you. 952, Government of Western Australia Heritage Assessment Program, implications for on the Shire of Manjimup. Councillor De Campo.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to move as per officer recommendation, but with the exception of point 1.4. 1.3. Suggest that the name of the precinct be renamed to reflect the wider area. So 1.4 would become 1.3.
Is there a seconder with that amendment? Councillor Darren. Councillor De Campo.
Thank you for hearing me out. Madam President, I have no problem with the actual officer recommendation, except to rename to reflect the right of area. It's a very important heritage section of Pemberton, and I think that name, although the precinct may become an enlarged precinct, really reflects the timber cottages. So I think we should keep and continue that heritage precinct named as it is. So other than that, though, the item officer recommendation is very well written. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Darren. Are there any other speakers for the amendment? Can we put the amendment to the vote, please? All those
it's the substantive.
The substantive amendment, sorry. To the vote, please. All those in favour? And against? Thank you, 7-1. So the substantive...
That's passed as it is.
We're done.
Yep.
Fabulous. That's so much easier than what it normally is. Okay, 953, proposed use not listed, floating sauna. Lot 13542, reserve 19857, Swimming Pool Road, Pemberton. Is there a mover?
I'd like to move as per officer recommendation, Madam.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Ventris. Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak to the motion?
I would like to speak to the motion, and in doing so, ensure that this community is brought along with this project. The Pemberton pool is actually a treasure. We all know that. It's iconic in not just Pemberton, but in the southwest. It's a river pool that everyone can go to and freely swim without charge and without supervision. It's one of the last, I think, remaining ones in the southwest. And I think this project brings to it a diversity. And there was some talk about, visual aspect and those types of things earlier. And let's not forget there was a 10-foot diving board that used to be right in the middle of the swimming pool as well. And let's not forget there was another diving board just west of that as well on the concourse. So things change over time, that's the point. And I really believe that this project has nearly unilateral support across the community, in fact. There's a few nasty people that have got out and they have certainly tried to ensure that this project wasn't as squeaky clean as what the presentation might show. That's divided the community slightly, and part of the reason for talking tonight is I want to congratulate the Pemberton Visitor Centre, because let's not forget they're a bunch of volunteers, as Graham said earlier, and they've kept this pool going, they've kept it free, and they've kept it available to the community. And those who seek to stop this project seek to destroy that, and they have been very, very nasty over the last 3 months. They've bought into the argument, various things about beds and banks and other parts of the operational matters of the pool that didn't need to be bought in. This will make sure Pemberton goes on the map. Pemberton needs another destination. We've lost the trout farm, we've lost Jarrah Jacks, we've lost Lake, we've lost those tourism destinations that are really important to bring people here. Now, I'm not one of those, 60 or 70% of people who want to ride up hills. I'll probably ride down the hill, but not up hills, that's for sure. But I don't think it will just be those people that use that. I don't think it will be. for the health and well-being of anyone that's visiting, or might be using a bike and doing things that, I would say sane people don't do, but I'm going to use the bike Ben's got. It's got an electric motor on the back of it. It'll bring a wide diversity of people, and we have that in Pemberton. $8 million going on cycle tracks. We have Targa Rally. We had Targa Gravel Rally last weekend. We've got a number of events that are bringing a different demographic to this town. We have the Avocado Festival coming up in November. No Truffle Festival this year, or a smaller one, but we have that event that will bring people down into this town that will use this facility, not just people that cycle. And it's interesting to note that the two people that spoke tonight didn't consider staying for the vote. That's how much they really have as a vested interest in the Pemberton pool. So I urge you, and I just want to say again, congratulations to the Pemberton Visitor Centre. You've had the intestinal fortitude to carry through with this. And to Nigel, thank you for you coming across. We met down at the pool. It's a great project. It has universal support through levels of government. There's no doubt about that. I don't support this 50%. I don't support it 90%. I support it 100%. And I urge you to do the same thing.
Thank you. Councillor Ventris.
Yeah, I'd just like to speak. Sometimes these sorts of issues bring out the best and the worst in a community, but I think the best part of living in the country that we do, we can have these robust discussions, and I think we should all respect that sort of situation where we can come and have our say. And everyone's had their say in this situation, and to some degree we've had no say, and we finally get an opportunity tonight, possibly in our vote. But I'd just like to draw your attention to the fact that as a councillor we've got to take all these things into consideration, and we take into consideration the recommendation of staff, and they've given it a tick of approval. We take into consideration the visitor centre board, and they're a volunteer board, and they represent a large part of the community, and they've given it a tick of approval. We consider parks and wildlife, and they've had an opportunity to have a say, and they've given it a tick of approval. The Department of Water and Environment, they've had an opportunity to have a say, and they've given it a tick of approval. We've got the Department of Planning, Lands and Heritage, and these aren't small and insignificant groups. They've given it a ticket of approval and saying that it'll touch lightly. We've got Tourism WA, another large organisation that's given it a ticket of approval. We've got the Chamber of Commerce of Pemberton, which is a great group that's been active for a long period of time, that's really quite focused on a town that was historically a timber town and has to make the necessary change over the last 7 or 8 years. Have a look up and down the streets, most of the shops are full thanks to tourism and people that come and go, and this will add to that. So to the Chamber of Commerce gave it a ticket approval, and then ultimately the WA, democratically elected WA government supported this in making a full assessment of this project and financially backed it. So that's 8 groups that I've just mentioned there that have, before we get a chance to have a say, that have all supported this. So in weighing all this up, I'd just like to think that at the end of the day there's others that stand behind us tonight that support this decision, and I'd just really recommend that we support the officer's recommendation. And I don't think we need to shy away from the fact that we've had a robust discussion on this. I think this is the community we live in. We're passionate about our community. We don't need to apologise about that. And for those that did feel really keen to speak against it, I've got no difficulty with that. I'd like to think that their abilities could be used in other areas. Maybe we could engage their capacity in advocating for a new playground and possibly a light industrial area and those types of things. And, if we all work together in community, we might be able to achieve some of those goals as well. And we might have the support of someone from Tasmania that's got a business in town, and he might be able to support us as well as we move forward and try and attract other attractions. We've attracted a zipline person, we've attracted someone to reopen the tram, and maybe we could attract somebody that wants to start a 4-star motel or something like that. And I think we send out the good image by supporting this. We send out a good image about this town's going somewhere.
Thank you, Councillor Ventris. Are there any other speakers?
Yeah, I'd like to support in favour of this development application. I think it's a good one. I don't get involved in any of. I assume it was on Facebook, toing and froing, and whether people have been nasty to each other or not. I wouldn't have a clue.
There's the understatement of the century.
I tried to stay out of that sort of thing. and just look at something on its merits and whether or not this is a project that would work well, and just look at the arguments for and against. The pool will be different when it's there. I mean, it's just a reality. So the decision we're making is, do we think it's an appropriate development? I tend to. I visited the sauna up in Derby, and I know that other people who aren't bicycle riders use it. I didn't use it, but I did go there, and I think this it suits the site. There will be some challenges, and I do want to congratulate the visitor centre as well for persevering with this. I'd like to think that there is some understanding for the people that do feel passionately against it as well. People have strong connections to their memories of places and what they did. And I remember when I was 10 years old when I went down the slide when it was there, and now the diving boards. But it's different now than what it was when I was there, when I was a kid. And it'll be different with the sauna, and in another 50 years it'll be different again. So to quote one of my fellow councillors like quotes, so to quote one of my favourite authors, the times they are a-changing.
Thank you, Councillor Mylan. Are there any other speakers, councillors? Councillor Darren.
Why not?
Yeah.
One, two. No, I support my fellow councillors. I just wanted to take a little bit of a different tack on this one. Firstly, I want to say how thorough this report is, and hats off to the staff who really have gone above and beyond. They recognised that there was some contention in the community about this, and they ensured that every I was dotted and T was crossed, and even when something that maybe was missed, they've gone back, they've reviewed it, and they've made a change. And I think that is something that we should acknowledge, that even though people may not agree with a decision a councillor makes, or council in general makes, or recommendations that come out from the staff, just because we don't see eye to eye doesn't mean that we haven't all been thorough in our analysis of it. The people that have been here speaking against this tonight have been very thorough in their research and what they believe in. That's not a reflection on us if we make a different decision. I think everybody around this table, I know I certainly have tried to. I'm young enough to be on Facebook, so old enough. I don't know. It's TikTok these days. And read all of the comments and read all of the information in here and all the submissions, and really did try to take a thorough review. My point, though, that I want to make is that at the end of the day, this is a planning application, and whether or not I think this is a good business proposal, it actually doesn't come into it. The decision is, does this meet the requirements for planning? And then what somebody decides to do with their business. I'm sure there's lots of people out there, I know a few of them don't like where I put my business because they don't think there's enough car parking. But that's fine, that's my decision for me, for my business, as long as my development fits in with the planning framework that is there. And that is the decision that we are making tonight, is does this fit with the planning framework and what conditions need to be put around that. And that has been thoroughly investigated by the staff and with a lot of information from other government departments and the community consultation. But at the end of the day, it isn't our decision as to whether or not this business should or shouldn't go ahead, how it should go ahead, where it should be located, what hours of operations it should have, as long as it fits within the planning frameworks, and then it will be for the decision for the staff to make as to whether it fits within the building permit regulations as well. So while we have these discussions, and yes, the Shire President can make a personal comment, we are actually allowed to have personal opinions about things. At the end of the day, the decision we're making here today isn't whether or not we think it's a fantastic business regardless, it is whether or not it fits within the planning framework. And so I would encourage you to support it, given that the thoroughness has said that it does meet the planning frameworks of the Shire of Manjimup.
Thank you, Councillor Darren. Councillor Ivey.
Just quickly, as the councillor who probably has the most tourism experience here. But yeah, firstly, thanks to the Manager of Planning Services for a very thorough report, which makes it easy to say yes on a planning matter. I've been here since 1998. The tourism industry back in those days was absolutely booming. There has been a decline over time. Pemby is now aligning as a trail town. There's a couple of other trail towns that have sort of snuck in front of us. They are booming, dwelling up and that up, full of tourists all the time. Walpole's now becoming a trail hub as well, thanks to DBCA. Pemberton needs a point of difference to be a trail town, and I really believe that having wellness facilities is going to be a massive bonus for Pemberton. Someone who's come off the 3-day walk from Northcliffe of the Bib Track or a 6-day walk from Donnelly River or wherever, they're going to really appreciate having somewhere to go. And it's going to help set Pemberton apart from the other trail towns. I've been to Derby also, and it's fabulous, and I've seen what the trail town business does over there. It's just massive, yeah. So I personally believe that this is a really good step forward for Pemberton.
Thank you. Did you want to close?
Just quickly.
Go on then.
Given there's no negative.
Far be it not for you to take the opportunity.
Look, I just want to reiterate that congratulations to the Pemberton Visitor Centre for the intestinal fortitude. You guys keep the pool open, you maintain it, you make sure it's clean, you make sure the showers work, and it would have been very easy to walk away from this by, with just a few protagonists. Can I also say I think it's been maybe 3 months since we met at the pool, and again congratulations to staff to have this from concept to council in 3 months is, if we can do it for everything, that'd be great. Yeah. is a fantastic feat. So congratulations, given the heritage aspect, and the argy-bargy over that. So congratulations to you guys as well. But I commend the officer's recommendation to you all.
Thank you. Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. Okay. 9.5.4, retrospective application of 2 cabins for unhosted short-term rental accommodation at Lot 2 in brackets 43 Hine Road, Dean Mill. Councillor De Campo.
As per officer's recommendation, with the removal of point 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer to initiate legal action for breach against the provisions of the Shire Manjimup Local Planning Scheme number 4.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Darren. Councillor De Campo.
Thank you, Madam President. And I just would like to direct you to page 60 in the conclusion. The application as submitted complies with the requirements of the scheme, and if managed correctly will not have a detrimental impact on the surrounding area. It is recommended Council grant conditional planning approval. Essentially, my view is the staff have better time management to run around and potentially prosecute somebody that actually complies. Although we got to this position, probably not the best path that you would want to happen. That there's a number of pieces of advice also that ensure that the applicant, will be, not committing any further offences, and they include as point 3, which is the regulation. Regardless of whether a building permit is applied, the application shall be required to make application for a lodging house prior to commencing development. I'm sure that's probably done because the development is done. So I'm not about tying staff up to prosecute somebody or even investigate prosecuting somebody and then not potentially prosecuting them on something that has been already approved by council. So I urge you to support the motion.
Councillor Darren. Are there any other speakers? Councillor Mylan.
Against that? I think the officer's recommendation. I think the officer's recommendation, and it was well explained by our CEO, to authorise the Chief Executive Officer to initiate legal action. It just should this negotiations or something go wrong or go awry in the process, it just means that authorisation is already there. I trust our CEO's judgment in this situation, and he would negotiate in good faith with the proponent. And this is only be enacted if it deemed necessary.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
Yeah, thank you. I'm not sure that Councillor Mylan has the gist of it. We've actually approved it. So there is nothing left for the CEO to ensure that happens. We're approving it as a retrospective approval. Then there'll be an investigation to go back and see if there is a potential prosecution. So it'll be now up to the machinations of the organisation to ensure that that everything is complied with, and that is a different scenario than actually going back to prosecute on the initial non-application. Now, I do agree that there's some grey area there, but I don't believe we constantly hear about staff don't have enough time. I'm not sure we should be tying staff time up to go and try and prosecute something that we've approved retrospectively. So that's my argument to that. I commend the motion to you.
Thank you. Can we put that to the vote, please? All those in favour of the substantive motion?
Yep. 6. Yep.
And against? Carried 6-2. Thank you. 955, proposed change of use from a dwelling to a holiday accommodation at lot 16, in brackets 54 Glue Street, Pemberton. Thank you, Councillor De Campo.
As per officer's recommendation.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Ventris. Councillor De Campo?
No.
Councillor Ventris. Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. 956, delegated planning decisions, June 2025. Councillor Ivey.
As per the officer recommendation.
And a seconder. Councillor Winfield. Let's go with you. Councillor Ivey, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor Winfield. Are there any other speakers? Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. 957, proposed survey strata subdivision at lot 1655, Carey Street, Walpole. Councillor Wilcox.
I'd like to move as per the officer's recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. Is there a seconder? Councillor Ivey. Councillor Wilcox, did you want to speak to the recommendation? No, thanks. Councillor Ivey. Are there any other speakers? Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. 958, proposed change of use from shop to residential building, retaining wall and fence at lot 17 in bracket 64 Brockman Street, Pemberton. Councillor Mylan.
I'd like to move as officer's recommendation.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Ventris. Councillor Mylan, did you want to speak to the...
Yeah, I do actually, because I think that change of use from a shop to residential is something that we could actually look at perhaps in some of our other towns where there are shops that aren't occupied, and we might be able to look at change of use so that people can live in shops, the backs of shops, like they do in other places throughout the world.
Councillor Ventris. Are there any other speakers?
I'm not sure how they'll get on with the smell of dead meat.
Probably don't want to be a vegan. All those in favour, councillors? Carried 8-0, thank you. 910.1, request to defer introduction of new fees and charges in response to revised date for introduction of the federal government support at home program. Councillor Ivey.
I move as per the officer's recommendation.
And is there a seconder? Councillor De Campo. Councillor Ivey, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor De Campo. Any other speakers? Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. Oh, that's me. I'm out. See you all later. No, I'm yeah. I'll go and put my order in.
Okay, item 912.1, proposed closure of unconstructed road reserve portion of Kimber Road, Palgarra.
I'll move as per the officer's recommendation.
Councillor Darren. Would you like to speak towards that, Councillor?
Who seconded?
Councillor De Campo.
Thank you.
I have to admit, guns have never been my thing. Never had a gun, never shot a gun, never thought I would be moving anything when it comes to rifle ranges, but by golly, it's been an interesting few months. And yes, I've had my eyes opened, and thank you to those who did have a chat to me and made me aware of the issues, and certainly now as the owner of a medical practice who's now offering firearm health assessments, yes, I'm having a crash course in the new legislation around firearms, and it's quite complicated and I can only imagine very frustrating. So I do support the officer's recommendation to move forward with this closure, assuming that there is no objections from the community in terms of the consultation. Otherwise, it will come back to us. But I do think this makes complete sense. I'm not sure how anybody equated yards and metres and just thought that that wasn't going to cause any problems, but sure, righto. But yes, I would encourage everybody to support this motion. I do understand that it has been a frustrating process for the proponents and that their patience is, we are grateful for your patience and for the time and effort that the staff have put into trying to make this work. So I encourage you all to support the motion, and so that we can move forward for something that is quite an important recreational option for people that don't play the normal sports, and that we can make sure that these people are able to remain engaged with what their sport is, and something that offers a part of the community, a way to recreate regularly and in a way that supports our community.
Are there any other speakers in favour of the motion? Yep.
Yeah, I just speak and congratulate as well the presentation that it's been given to Council. It's one of these things where a lot of people don't understand the full issues, and it's got some similarities with the similar issue we dealt with tonight. It's got a lot of historical significance, and it goes unnoticed in a similar way to the pool, and it's an Olympic sport and all those types of things, and so it serves a purpose. And as a council, in a similar vein to some of the comments that were made in a previous item, we're not here to make judgment on the issues. It's basically a planning and facilitating role that we are here. We're not here to judge, the fors and against on guns as such. We're here to do the planning type situation that was that's been forced on us basically because of the conversion from yards to metres, which is quite ridiculous. But so there's no judgment here tonight whether this is a good sport, bad sport, or any of those sorts of discussions. This is about doing what we need to do as councillors, and we're not aligning for or against guns or anything close to that. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Ventris. Are there any other speakers for or against? Okay, I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? 7-0. Okay, thank you. I'll vacate this prestigious chair. And call her back in. Which way to go?
It's all right.
Come on, Bridget.
Oh, I should have taken glasses and found a newsletter while I was out there. Cool. Okay. 9.12.2, consideration of waste disposal options for Windy Harbour settlement.
Could I ask a question, please?
Question?
At the discussion last Tuesday, I raised the point that we shouldn't be giving them the option of status quo, and yet it's still on the officer's recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you, Councillor. We did, and
I think this might be addressed.
I'm remiss. There were two motions that I wanted to alternatives written.
That was the other one.
I couldn't remember what the second one was, and it was this one. So I'm going to move as per officer's recommendation, but with the removal of point 1, maintain present practice out of all of the tables, and move all of the other points up to read as per their order should. So that would make rubbish.
Which of the 6 options?
Oh,
yeah, so point 2 would become 6 options.
Sorry. Yep. Well, I'm going to move as per officer's recommendation.
So 108.
Which of the 7 options would listed would be majority?
Change it to 6.
So it would become 6.
6 options. Yep, that's right.
Which is the 6 options from 2 to 7.
Correct. Yep.
Thank you.
That's confusing, but
it's clear as mud.
It's clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Councillor Winfield.
I think it's a motion.
That's 2 in one meeting, Councillor Winfield. Just settle down.
You're off the bench and you're running in your last couple of meetings. What's going on?
Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak to that then?
Speaking tonight.
You have, we've noticed.
Look, thank you. I just believe, as Councillor Winfield, and we did discuss, putting in maintain present practice, everyone's going to go, let's maintain present practice. But the reality is we're dumping rubbish in a Class A reserve in Windy Harbour. It is not an acceptable practice by any standards, and interestingly enough, in Sydney right now, one of the major expansions of a highway, there's been a major dumping of asbestos there. They're talking about $124 million to actually clean it up, illegal dumping, and that's the sort of thing that could occur with us, potentially. So let's do the right thing around the national park, and let's move on with the 21st century. And in fact, some of the numbers that came out the other day, it's $440 per household for the waste charge currently. Around 5,000 households pay a waste recovery fee now for the transfer stations and the tip. The Windy Harbour one will only be about, what did I work out, $1.68 more or something, or no, $10.50 or something more if we go to a transfer station back to Manjimup. So it's not a big imposition, in fact, on our community as a general to do the right thing around Windy Harbour and the National Park. Let's not forget, we want to keep Windy Harbour forever, not for a 20-year lease, but forever, and we want to expand Windy Harbour even further, and it is in the planning to do that. But to do that, we want to secure 1, water, and of course 2, waste. And that's the important part of this motion. So I urge you to support the motion.
Councillor Winfield.
No, I'm right.
Excellent. Okay, are there any other speakers, councillors? Great. Can we please put that substantive motion to the vote, please? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you very much. 9.13.1, review of road construction and maintenance activities for the 24-25 financial year. Councillor De Campo.
As per officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Mylan, Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak to the motion? Councillor Mylan?
Yes.
Oh,
Sorry.
right, we're coming back again.
No, other than just to congratulate the new Director of Works, she's, Infrastructure Services nowadays, hit the ground running. I think the team is going really well, the senior team, so, collectively. Congratulations, I think, and the sun's going to come out very shortly, so then we'll put you to the test.
Thank you. Councillor Mylan? Excellent. Are there any other speakers? Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? Carried 8-0. Thank you. All right. 9.14.1, proposed outcome of review of sports grounds maintenance agreements. Councillor Mylan.
I move as per officer's recommendation.
And is there a seconder? Councillor Ivey. Councillor Mylan, did you want to speak to the motion? Nope. Councillor Ivey? Excellent. Any other speakers? Can we put it to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour? 8-0. Thank you. 9.16.1, unconfirmed minutes of the Northcliffe Town Activation Advisory Committee meeting held on the 22nd of May 2025. Councillor De Campo.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to move, as per officer's recommendation, with the removal of the words Walpole, Pemberton and Manjimup from the motion that says that Carrie Carac be contacted for any possible significant Noongar names for Northcliffe, Walpole, Pemberton and Manjimup.
Thank you, Councillor De Campo. Is there a seconder? Councillor Ventris. Councillor De Campo, did you want to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Madam President. If I read the functions of the committee, it is 1, to the identification of opportunities for space activation within Northcliffe town site, 2, to liaise with other relevant community groups and or service agencies over potential art and cultural projects, 3, assist the Shire of Manjimup officers in drafting design guidelines to guide future developments within the town centre precinct, 4, assist coordinating community participation, 5, communicate and inform the local community about activities of the committee. And I'll have to get back to it now, I'm sorry, what was the page? Doesn't matter. I think it's an overreach for this committee to, the word condemn is wrong, however, to make decisions based around the naming of other towns when it's a reach past their actual terms of reference of the committee. This is what I call backdooring, essentially. It's backdooring a decision that will have implications for other towns. Now, I can tell you right now that as an urban councillor, although I'm in my hometown, If Manjimup made a decision within a committee process to call something in Walpole what it wanted, or in Pemberton what it wanted, or in Northcliffe what it wanted, there would be uproar. I also believe there's another section there that's probably a bit of a reach, where there's the Reconciliation Action Plan is mentioned, and in fact there's a letter of support being sought from the council in relation to that, but I'm sure we'll see that come through the Reconciliation Action Plan. I think these committees need to stay in their rails, and in fact this one has got right outside of its rails in relation to that. So I urge your support removing those 3 words.
Thank you, Mr CEO.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Councillor De Campo. Your motion, you can't actually table your motion. There's just an administrative reason there. So the recommendation is from the committee. You can't change the committee's recommendation.
So, okay, we'll just move to refuse it.
Yeah, or you could present an amended motion that maybe adds point 3, that the council disagrees on the inclusion of...
On your advice, then, I move to point 3, that council disagrees. That doesn't necessarily, though, mean that the consultation still wouldn't happen, does it?
I might pass to the director here if you can add a little bit of commentary.
I can add some commentary. It's not actually my, but I can. If Jace, you're happy for me to make a comment? Sure. As it stands, there's no consultation. It's really just a contact to Carrie Carac, seeking awareness if there's any other names for the towns. It doesn't have to go any further than that.
But my point is that it does say that it will be dealt with administratively once it happens. So,
thank you. Mr CEO.
Thank you. I think I've found a neat solution. You could possibly add a point 3, which says the council directs the chief executive officer not to engage with Carrie Carac in relation to Walpole, Pemberton and Manjimup.
Love those words. That's what I just said.
It's exactly what we meant. Exactly. Excellent. Councillor Ventris, are you still happy to second that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All right. You've had your chance. Excellent. Councillor Ventris.
Okay, so I'd just like to clarify with a question first, possibly before I speak.
Yep.
Has there been any contact made by staff at this stage, given that it's said it would be dealt with? Has there been any contact at this stage with Carrie Carac on this matter?
Mr CEO?
Not so far as I'm aware. However, I might need to defer to our Director of Development Services.
No contact has been made as of yet. We're waiting for council to accept the minutes.
Cool. Okay, appreciate that. No, I just think it's just one of those things where you've got a group that quite clearly in Northcliffe is connected to the town side of Northcliffe, and then to all of a sudden include those other towns without those town groups, and then in the near future we're going to have a review of our strategic plan and community consultation. It's better that these things come from the community. Even we've got a reconciliation committee, and it hasn't gone through that committee. So next minute, unaware to us as councillors and unaware to the different communities, we'll have this sort of stuff circulate where it's come back, and councils ask for it. So while I'm not speaking for or against or whatever the concept, I think this is a Northcliffe group, and we narrow it to the Northcliffe group, and the rest follow the normal procedure. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ventris. Are there any other speakers? Question, Councillor Darren? Question, Councillor Darren? Question, Councillor Darren?
Sorry. I just have a question regards to the minutes. It does seem to be that particular motion at that meeting was in reference to entry statements. Could you just give a little bit of clarity as to what the motion actually was intended for?
Oh, Mr. CEO?
Sorry, I wasn't at the meeting, so I might pass over to the Director of Community Services. Thank you, Gail.
Essentially what the Northcliffe has been trying to do, and we've also been looking at this for the other towns from an operational point of view, is include the recognition of the Aboriginal name for the area on those signs, not to rename the town or anything else. It is really just, for example, if I may, like Manjimup, we know that the origins of Manjimup is the Yanjit reed, and there's some origin story in there. We're including that story on the new sign that's going up in Manjimup Park. It was the same, it was recognising the first people of this region and what their association or name for a given area was. It's not renaming a town, it's not dual naming a town, it's just understanding where the origin of that came from. And the best knowledge source at the moment is Carrick-Carrack.
Thank you. Councillor Mylan, do you want to speak?
Look, I'll speak in favour of it because I just think it's from a process point of view, it just doesn't look quite right. Having said that, it's information we're seeking here, and information's always good to know, and I'm actually interested to know what the Aboriginal names might have been for any of the towns or locations in our Shire. But sort of coming from another group, it does look like it's a bit, wonky. So I suggest
it's a technical
we
term.
just ask people anyway. But I do support the motion. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers? No other speakers. Councillor Ivey.
Just in speaking against it, I'll just remind everyone that although Northcliffe is one town, we are one shire. So if you're consulting about one thing, you may as well consult about the lot.
Thank you, Councillor Ivey. Close, Councillor
I'll now
Cameron.
close. Look, this is just about process, to be honest with me. We have these committees, although we are changing the structure really quickly, which I think is ideal. These things are dealt with administratively. Now, I went through the whole Balangmire process of naming that building, and essentially the community wasn't consulted up front. It was consulted at the back end of that. And I believe that in these circumstances, the community needs to own these things. It needs to want to do it. And so we should be asking those communities, rather than asking Carrick-Carrack for those names, ask the community first of all whether they would like that, to happen. And it's really just about, yes, if Northcliffe wants to do that and I want to get the second naming for Northcliffe, it's not a second name, I get all that. This is more about the process and who drives it. We've talked about community empowerment tonight, and it's really important to make sure that communities know that they have that control. And I go back to the point that if Manjimup decided that it was going to name something, regardless of what it is, something heritage and cultural, because that can mean a lot, in Walpole or in Pemberton or in Northcliffe, or even in Jardee or Palgarrap, to be honest, they would be up in arms. So I just think, in this case, the Northcliffe Town Activation Committee has every right to ask Carrick-Carrack for that. But when you hear words it will be dealt with administratively, that's when you get a little worried that it'll just be a fait accompli that it will happen in the other towns without those towns being empowered to accept and actually embrace it.
Thank you. Okay. Can we please put that to the vote, councillors? All those in favour? And against 6-2. 6-2, so Jade and Wendy. Oh, it's the end of the storybook. Okay. 10. 10 late reports. There are nil. 11 questions from members. 11.1 response to question from members taken on notice. There are nil. 11.2 question from members. Nothing. Fabulous. 12. This is a bit scary. Motion for consideration at the following meeting. No. 13. New business of an urgent nature introduced by a decision of the meeting. Right, we have 2 of these ones. I'm not sure we need to give people leaves of absence, but apparently they need them. Applications for leave of absence. Mr CEO.
Thank you, Madam President. I have one from Councillor Darren for the 30th of September Ordinary Council meeting, which is unfortunate because we shifted the date. Sorry about that. And one from Councillor Mylan for the 25th of November Ordinary Council meeting as well. They need to be
we're getting ahead.
Moved and seconded.
Would someone like to move those, please? Councillor Ventris?
Just a point. we're going to make a decision on the 25th of November. We won't constitute council at that period of time. So shouldn't that be a decision made of the new council? Okay.
Good luck not letting him go on holidays. God, how to win friends and influence people. Are you moving that, Councillor Ventris?
I'd like to move that we grant a leave of absence for those two councillors.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Winfield, let's get you on there 3 times. Can we put that to the vote, please, councillors? All those in favour of giving these 2 people leave? And against?
No, there's only 2 left. I'm not going to...
Thank you. That being done, I wish to thank everyone for coming. We really do value you all coming out to do our meetings in Pemberton.
There's no pack-up.
Oh, yes. There's no pack-up, councillors, so we can just head off. And we will close the meeting at 7:20. Thank you all very much.